Hello, hello, hello. Today we are going to be chatting with Richie Evans. I'm excited about this conversation. Richie Evans is someone who independent artist. He's worked with so many people from Bun B to J Rock to Kendrick Lamar to Eric Bellinger to Nano. The list goes on and on. And I think so many people just like have a particular route that they, shoot to have, a particular journey they shoot to have, and I feel like he's one of them. He's a hip hop artist. He is a hip hop artist. And we hopefully will be able to like feature some of his music so everybody will have a chance to see what he's working with. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get it right.
I think we all trying to get it right. We had
right.
some trying times.
Man, trust when I tell you. I listen. I say it every day, man. We living in some weird times right now, but the music, the good energy, and good people gonna keep us right. So we on it.
Exactly. I'm happy that you were able to do this. Let me see if I can take this background picture off. Yes. Okay.
There we go.
Yes. I feel like you are one of the few artists that just are always working so hard, just like full throttle into everything you do.
Yeah.
I feel like you are also somebody who, takes pleasure in making the art that you're pushing out.
For sure. For sure.
So just like tell me more about that journey. Like what was the thing that made you like, yeah, I wanna do music? What started that off?
What's crazy? Before I get to that, I've always wanted to speak on something like this to really explain the emotion and passion that I have for creating the type of music that I do. Mm-hmm. If people are really not familiar with my story, I got brought into this industry by one of the top artists in the industry named The Game. You know what I mean? I signed The Game for a few years, you know what I mean? And he gave me the, worldwide platform and really put me on an understanding on how to create a good body of music. You know what I mean? I think some people get it confused that when you're trying to put out your art, like everything got to be put out so fast or everything got to just be a quick, microwavable situation. Right. But I feel like, when you're really trying to make an impact in this particular industry and when you're really trying to leave a legacy and really solidify who you are, those type of things really take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, but that motherfucker got built. You feel me?
For sure.
So, for me, I feel like at this particular plateau, kind of where I'm at, I'm just really trying to put out great body of music that people can respect and really appreciate. I'm really not of course, I want to sell 5 million, 10 million records like anybody would, you know what I mean? But right. I don't to compromise my character, my integrity, and vision for myself, you know what I mean, to do that. You know what I mean? And I hope that, with the music that I'm putting out and the label and groundwork that I'm putting in, I hope that people really respect and appreciate that journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of artists who are first starting out take the microwavable approach to it.
For sure.
Because they just want to get hot. They literally only care about the popularity, the fame, having the bag secured.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier legacy.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are thinking like that. They're not thinking long term.
Right.
And so I feel like there is a process that everyone has to go through for them to kind of like see the game in a broader scope.
For sure. I mean, everybody gets into, let's be clear, what I'm saying? This music industry is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We all believe that we can get into this and really certain types of numbers and make certain types of music, as well as take care of our family, provide for our team and people. Like, that's the ultimate common denominator. Right. But I think people, understand that in any business, there's always a structure and there's always a blueprint and an outline that has to be done first to get to that point. I battle this every day about, just putting out some shit for the moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a for the moment person. I'm a forever type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? I respect a different outline when it comes to artists. I respect Nas. I respect Jay, Ice Cube, Game, T.I. These are people who all have had their bumps and bruises through the beginnings of their career. But when they finally got their blueprint in magnitude right, niggas is all staples in this industry. T.I. is a staple. Game is a staple. Ice Cube is a staple. Nas is a staple. Jay is a staple. I always refer to Jay-Z where he said, he came into this motherfucking 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact. Like, you got to invest in yourself for your company and for your team to get to that particular level. Everybody thinks this shit is overnight, and it's not. Right. Me and my team been putting in a lot of groundwork. We've been trying, especially this new wave thing with, Instagram Live, Facebook media. We're really trying to do our due diligence to really be known on this type of time. I'm from the era where we jumped out the car with CDs in the trunk and was slinging them 10, 20, $20,
Exactly. On the ground.
On groundwork, right? You know what I mean? But we're in the transition right now due to COVID and everything going on where everything is so digital, where we're trying to really get an understanding of how this works and still reach the people and provide them the music and the merchandise and things that they need to rock with us. You did.
Yeah. So, you mentioned a lot of things that I want to touch point on. One sure. being, investing in yourself, investing in your craft, and then sure. another being like the transition that the music industry has seen over the last 10, 20, 30 years.
For sure.
And now with COVID, I feel like it switched up the game for everybody. So what approach or how do you think COVID, this pandemic, will transform the way we move forward?
Man,
when it comes to music and everything else.
Shout out to Copenhagen. You know what I'm saying? We got international folks in here. Appreciate that. Salute. Appreciate everybody on here taking the time out. Shout out to boy J Waves. I see you on here. Everybody logging in, listening to the, dialogue. But no, COVID. COVID kind of affected me and my whole campaign. We dropped a single maybe 2.5 months ago called Overdose on Arrogance. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the street record, you know what I mean, to kind of align everything to move from there. That record is doing good right now. I think we're at like 150 to 200,000 on, Spotify. We're gaining traction. Shout out to World Star for them doing what they do. Shout out to you guys. You guys really helped put that on a platform too. But we was gonna drop my official single featuring Rick Ross right after that, and everything shut down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the marketing platforms, the label, end up shutting their door. Everybody really didn't know how to maneuver from that point. And as an artist, I didn't either. Like, I didn't want to put that record out because I wouldn't have had the backing and support needed to reach the masses that I felt that record was going to hit. So we had to pivot a little bit. We didn't want to stop dropping music. We just pivoted and put out a record called The Purge featuring me and Mano that was a little bit more to today's times. You know what I'm saying? Something that people can really, resonate with, like, sitting in the house, doing these type of interviews. People, some of the world was waiting for their stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? Right. People didn't know what was really going on. So we really had to do a fast backtrack and kind of get our shit shaken too. But COVID really, really kind of put a glitch in our matrix, but we couldn't stop the movement. We got to readjust, readapt, and reposition to execute, to keep things going. And like I said, people like yourself and, SheBuzzin doing this, type of thing right here will help us kind of create through this hurdle. Yeah.
How important is it for an artist, regardless of what stage they're in, to be adaptable, do you think?
Truthfully, being a person who, how can I say it? I'm not so social media privy, and what I mean by that is, I come, I don't want to say I come from the era, I came from the era of the cool niggas. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you
You
mean.
know what I'm saying? We was the cool niggas in the back doing drinks, no cameras, baby. We chilling.
Yeah.
But in today's platform, like we really gotta, you gotta be on these Instagram lives. You really gotta start interacting with people via social media, or digitally, or however how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's the new. I think it's the new norm now, and I think it will be for through COVID, through the protests, everything going on. This whole social media dynamic and how things are moving now is going to be the new norm, and I feel that we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable with this.
Yeah. Trust me, this is I think all of us are just kind of taking a step back, thinking outside of ourselves and thinking outside of our normal routines
For
and
sure.
just shaking everything up. I
For sure.
mean, who would have thought like all of your favorite brands are just, promoting everything they got on these
Right.
platforms. So,
Right.
it is what it is.
Thanks.
But I want to get more into your music, your musical journey, and maybe more so like some of the things you've had to change throughout your life as
Sure.
far as like your mindset, because like we
Sure.
said before, this game is really microwavable. It's
Thanks.
about what's hot right now, what the people are grabbing to, and because it's popular. And
Right.
I think there's less of an investment being made on terms of just like grooming a person,
Right.
mind, body, soul kind of thing,
Right.
before they can hit certain accolades in their career.
For
So
sure.
so how would you say you kind of like fed or invested in your brain and your mindset when it came
Um,
to this game?
you know, um, I got a real reality check. Like I said, I was signed to the game. You know what I mean, for a few years, and I got a real reality check of how it's bigger than me. There's a bigger
Mm,
program than all this. Like I said, there's hierarchies through this whole particular business. At that particular time, even though I was doing everything as an artist, I mean, I'm touring Germany, England, Copenhagen. You know what I mean? I'm out there doing my thing. But when Game and 50 kind of went through their turmoil,
mm-hmm.
even though it was Game and 50's personal vendetta, it
Got
affected it affected everybody.
yeah,
When the check got cut from the top, it trickled all the way down.
right.
It was a situation for me to where that was something that I don't think a lot of people knew at that particular time. It was like, damn, what's up with Richie? Where he at? Like I seen the nigga on double XL swords doing everything up under the sun, and all of a sudden, I don't see
Cool.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And really what it was, not necessarily, I wasn't doing my job. I was overdoing my job. You know what I mean? But the point is sometimes people put themselves in contractual obligations in situations that they have no voice in.
Mm-hmm.
And once I end up finding out how that worked, I vowed to not put myself back in that situation. I
Right.
see everybody right now is on this independent kick. You know what I mean? And, a few years ago, it wasn't cool to be independent. It wasn't really, really cool to take that stance and really,
Yep.
sacrifice, roll the dice and put everything behind your back. It was all about the majors. And don't get me wrong, I still believe that you still do need somewhat of a relationship with a major to get to a certain threshold
Yes.
in this industry. They have a lot of relationships and their bank vault is unlimited more than anybody such as, your normal local rapper, you know what I
Right.
mean? Or artist. But for me, it made me recognize and look at this business from a long scope.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It made me really like, okay, bro, if you really want a voice in this particular situation, you got to leverage yourself. You know what? Let's go back to the hood right quick. Let me find my five top comrades who really believe in love in me, who got the best interest in what we doing. Sit everybody down. Listen, this is the game plan. This is if everybody believes in me and this is the music, this is the game plan. This is the play. Let's go ahead and invest in ourselves right quick. Instead of having the label go out and go get me a feature from T.I. or Rick Ross, check it out, homie. Let's jump on this plane ourselves and go to Atlanta, pull up on T.I. ourselves. You know what I mean? Gain that
Yeah.
relationship and respect so they can see how we move. Or even with Rick Ross. We rather do that than to be indebted to somebody else's, position. You know what I'm saying? So for me, as all this comes to fruition, like I said, man, I got a company called the Evans Administration. You know what I mean? For the last 3 years, you know what I mean? We've been putting in a lot of time and structuring it the right way to make sure we do what we got to do. I still got my relationship with Game, got my relationship with Rick Ross, got my relationship with T.I. I got, 80% of my album in done and in order. You know what I'm saying? So I can go to Universal, Warner Brothers, Interscope, you know what I mean, and have a little bit of financial, backing, you know what I'm saying, to leverage what we're trying to do. We want a voice in that building. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let you, you can't shut somebody down who come to the table with their own.
Hello.
You know,
Talk to them.
You feel me? So, me and my team positioned ourselves that way to do what we got to do. So at this particular point, man, like I said, we dropped Overdose on Arrogance. We did a joint venture situation with Universal Grooves that gave us majority of the leverage to what we want to do. Kind of like my nigga Nipsey said, only thing we need you to do is market and distribute this product. We got everything else from here. You know what I mean? And we end up positioning ourselves to do it. We dropped those 2 records, which is available on Spotify and all the platforms now. And now dealing through COVID, we're trying to figure out how we're going to position dropping this record so we can make sure we get it to the masses through these times. So, we're working out here for real.
I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad that you mentioned your company, the Evans Administration, because as an independent artist who is involved with other, with your team and with other partnerships, I feel like now more than ever, it's important that artists kind of like make sure that their name is attached to something that they own. And I think the idea and concept of ownership as a whole is more popular now than it has been ever before, because you need your money. Not to be circulating in other pockets, but where you need it to be. So,
shout out DJ Smitty Fresh. No, I'm on the Hennessy.
Shout out to all of y'all. But the question I was leading to was, what is someone who was first entering this industry, how important it is for them to own something?
Man, the most important thing is owning, I'm not going to say no names, but I met an artist through this journey. Sold 1 million records, 1 million. When them checks got cut, he didn't end up earning 1 million off that. Okay. And the crazy thing about it was he didn't own his masters, and unfortunately, he didn't even own his name.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, it showed me a lot. Like, it showed me how they try to pin you into positions to throw you a couple dollars. Like, don't get me wrong, man. You take any kid from the hood and give them $500,000, of course they, it's going to change their life. Of course they want to take care of their friends, their family, their mom, and do what they need to do. But I try to tell people it's not about $1 today, it's about 2 tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That little bit of upfront money, seed money, is really nothing on this longevity move. I seen a person do it completely backwards. Do an independent, I got a solid relationship with a guy named Tech Nine. Mm-hmm. Tech Nine is probably one of the best and the most notable independent artists and labels in this game for strange music. He hits Forbes list every year, and he's independent.
Yeah.
Every year. And it was something for me that really made me start really taking this shit a little bit more serious than normal. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm putting out consistent music, but your music can work for you forever. Yeah. I look at Nas. Nas dropped a classic album called Illmatic. If Nas never dropped another album today, Illmatic will probably sell gold to platinum every year, and he will forever eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a journey to where you gotta love the music, but you also gotta take pride in understanding this business, because it's a serious situation.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like I've preached this more than anything, which is read your contracts. If you are going to sign anything, especially when it comes to your involvement, just read through it. I know the language sometimes can be funny. There are these terms and these methods of like these articles and things, and it may seem confusing, but read through it or have someone help you read through it, because you don't want to get fucked in the end. And
Facts.
that's what usually happens with a lot of artists who are on the up and coming. Again, they get, this lump sum of money pushed right in front of them, and it looks
Right.
good. It looks
Right.
real
Yeah.
good. It can
Yes,
solve a
ma'am.
lot of problems right now,
Facts.
but at what cost?
Facts. Facts. I tell
At what
people all the
cost?
time, I'm trying to keep my integrity and my character and my business all the way intact. Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I may have, a couple 100,000, you know what I'm saying? But that couple 100,000 is ours, though.
Yeah.
And nobody gets a piece of that, and we owe nobody nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, we really trying to do the right things out here, man.
So talk to me about networking.
Okay?
And in this business, it is popular for a beef to pop off. Someone says something about so and so, and your perfect example with 50 and the game is like, how do you manage relationships?
Um, so for me, I always say I know a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm just a good nigga. I'm out, I high five, kiss babies. I do my campaign thing. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to really doing the business, you gotta really have a core surrounding of honest individuals around you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about this industry, it's a lot of Hollywood talk out here. You know what I mean? Everybody want to do certain types of things. Everybody said they're gonna make this happen, but there's only a handful of people who can really stand on that and execute things to go or to be where they need to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me is, you got to look at everything for its entirety, and you can't let your emotions dictate your business. I realize I deal with so many different energies and so many different spirits, and I deal with so many different people. You got to realize everybody that you meet is really not a friend or a fan of you. They may be an associate, you know,
Yes.
but they may not be a friend or a fan of you. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen two enemies do business for the embetterment of what they're trying to do. But if this shit were to crash down tomorrow and shit hit the fan, niggas wouldn't be checking on their family. You know what I mean?
So
Niggas
true.
would. So for me, man, I just really do a real cleansing of who my real surroundings are. Like I said, I came into this industry with people who really love me and really give a fuck about what we're doing. Everybody outside that circle, we treat you as such. This is business. And
This
then
is
if
business.
our relationship grows within a certain period of time and you show a certain, loyalty and respect as we do you, then that friendship can turn to a family bond and a bigger bond than that. But like I said, man, you got to really watch that, man, because there's a lot of sheep in wolves' clothing out in this industry.
You hit me with that one.
Come
There's
on,
a
man.
lot of sheep in wolves' clothing.
Come on, man. Come on.
Sheesh.
Come on. Come on. Yeah, man.
It hit because it's true.
Facts. Yeah. Listen, it's all facts. And let me say this. One of my biggest problems is sometimes my heart is bigger than my body. You
Mm,
know what I mean? I want to try to help uplift, and do what I can do for everybody. But you got to understand that everybody don't got that same love in return.
right.
You know what I mean? People support you because they want to see your downfall sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People support you because you know what I mean. There's some that want to support you because they want to see you go to the moon. But you gotta, there's people who want to see you fail too at the grandstand. You know what I mean? So you really got to prepare yourself, and you really got to condition yourself for the bullshit to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You really got to condition yourself spiritually, physically, mentally, financially. You know what I mean? In all tenures to reach that ultimate goal. You know?
Yeah. I agree. I feel like a lot of people skip those steps. They don't really invest in their spiritual. They don't really invest in their minds. They don't really invest in their money,
That
or just the understanding of it.
right.
And I think that's where a lot of the missteps begin to happen because they don't really know and they're trying to lie things out. And so they're just,
Yeah.
trying to like find their way. So in terms of books, because I know you're a big reader.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
been I seen that you posted about the Four Agreements, the
Yes,
Art of War,
ma'am.
business of music, and just learning how to market and promote yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
What is a book that you think everyone should read?
The 48 Laws of Power. Um, I think that book right there really gives you a sense of principle and understanding of truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That book is probably the realest book I've ever read in life. I read it twice because the first time it made me feel uncomfortable. It made me really recognize that when I sit in these meetings with, people, across the desk from certain people, like, you got to understand how people look at you too.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Every move and every person who's been successful in this industry, they've always had a calculated game plan. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
People do business with people they're not cool with. People do be like, it's crazy. So the 48 Laws of Power is one. The Four Agreements was another one.
Okay.
The reason why I stand on the Four Agreements is because I think that a lot of people in this industry got lost with principles in life. You got to stand on your word. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you got to be prompt and diligent with time. And, there's certain small things that if you just change some of these small antics in your life, some of your success will turn around like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's another one that people may feel some type of way about, but it's called the 33 Strategies of War. I'm not saying read the book to try to wage war on people, but you got to look at it when you get to a certain level of success. You got to see it for, a foresight to see when people try to wage war on you.
Yes, because all war is not waged on the battlefield.
Facts. Success breeds envy. You know what I'm saying? Envy breeds, you know what I'm saying, enemies. You know what I'm saying? Yep. When you're out here really, really creating and catering to your team and doing the right things, like I said, everybody's not privy to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, look, I always use the movie Belly. You know what I mean? Where, Nas and DMX came through Nebraska. They was riding in the big boy truck, and the dude walking to the spot and was like, yeah. I don't like that shit. That shit. You know what I mean? Niggas was minding their business. Like, I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta really, 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 take heed to a lot of these things, man. And like I said, success is not an overnight thing. It takes time. It takes work. It takes discipline. It takes, a level of commitment.
Yes.
Commitment, to get to that level. Ani, what up? I see you. So yeah.
I think people are committed to the wrong things, and that's why they come in, they come in strong. Yeah. But they end up making certain moves that don't really match what the goal is intended to be. So I do feel like people do end up getting lost, like you said, and it's unfortunate. Some find their way, some do not. They just fizzle out, and it is what it is. Yeah. As far as working with people in the industry, you've worked with one of my favorite artists, Nipsey Hussle. And he is my favorite because of more so his spirit than his music, because I feel like I caught on to his music a little later, right? While he was still alive. May his soul rest in peace. And I think a lot of the things that he was preaching resonated for me in terms of just like Black ownership, respect, just certain principles. Yes, what would you say, or how would you describe that experience working with him?
Man, listen, R.I.P. Nip. I always tell this story, man. Like, I'm one of the few people who have, I reached out to him one day. You know what I mean? I was in L.A. and I was working on the project, and it was like 3 a.m. And me and Nipsey, every time I seen Nipsey, was always the same positive love and energy. Like, hey, King, whenever you need me, holla at me. I got you. And when a person says that, you take that as face value. So I'm at Paramount Studios, 2:33 a.m, and I got this record, and I was like, man, I'm gonna call Nip. I need him on it. Nip was popping. Hey, what's up, King? Where you at? I was like, shit, I'm in the city. I'm at Paramount. I was like, I need you. Pull up. Nigga was like, I'm en route. But he pulled up instantly. Pulled up. Came with a couple CDs. You know what I'm saying? And he came with just a lot of, his energy was so unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nipsey really, really spoke for a lot of people who wanted to say and do some of the things that he was doing, but never had the nuts to do it. He spoke for a large, vast realm of people. Nipsey was always one who was ahead of his time. the night he came to the studio, and it's funny because I was like, yo, is it cool for me to call a videographer so they can come and get this? And he was like, my nigga, no, I got you. And we sat there for about an hour strong. And he was just talking about, the marathon store and the things that he was going to do. He was even talking about, some of the property that he was like, listen, man, when I sell this, single, and if we get to this particular number, I'm going to take these particular proceeds and I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to buy my whole block. You know what I mean? He was like, I've been written from this guy for so long. And he was like, I feel like I don't have no ownership unless I own the dirt my business is on. And I respected that more than anything. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's real life ownership. You dig? But, Nipsey was one of the few who really had that Obama vibe to him. You know what I mean? He spoke to a lot of people, and unfortunate, God rest the dead, you know what I'm saying? He was taken so early, but he left such a big legacy that I know that the world will forever, ever speak on Nipsey Hussle, and his impact will forever motivate, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Anybody that comes into his circumference of music, business, family, in businesses in general. You know what I mean? So, salute to Nip.
Yes. The marathon continues.
Facts.
Okay.
Hold that thought. Hold on. Everybody who on here, I gotta do a shot for my man Nip. You did?
Yeah.
My man Nip.
Do that, man.
Yeah, man.
Crazy. It's a wild time you're living in. But I think keeping focused on what the legacy will be is key. And I want to ask you, what is it that you want people to remember you for? Whether it be the music, business, tactics, relationships, just like what would be the legacy of Richie Evans?
I'll say this, man. I always tell people, before I die, they're gonna name a hospital in the street after me. I just hope that I'm just a vessel and a motivational tool to know that things could be achieved with all cards stacked against them. And what I mean by that is this, I come from a city, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is nowhere near on the map musically. We're not a LA, we're not a Chicago, we're not a Miami, we're not a New York. You know what I'm saying? Also, there's a lot of, being an African American man. I come from a city, I come from a red state. This is Donald Trump territory. You know what I mean? Yeah, you feel me? But me and my team, we stand on a wall. You know what I mean? And nobody's budging that. You know what I mean? We try to uplift the community. We try to do a lot of positive things. We're in the giving back. We're in the trying to do things that are impactful to not just ourselves, but our, surrounding brothers and sisters. So just to kind of answer that within the right context, man, I just want the world to really know that I took a chance on my dream and my belief against all odds and conquered. Even though I'm not where I want to be, through my journey, you know what I mean? I've done a lot of things that certain people could never even fathom. And that's a motivational tool within itself. So I just hope that I'm able to motivate, some kid out there, wherever he's at, to believe in self, stay strong, put a blueprint plan and execute together, love your family, keep God first, and make shit happen. Period.
Period. Listen, man, you only get one life. You might as well live it out to the fullest.
Oh God.
Might as well. So I saw that you had an opportunity to teach a business class at Phoenix University, and you were speaking on just, I guess, business related things. I don't really know for sure, but I want you to tell us a little bit more about that.
Like I said, when I ended up dropping my single Overdose on Arrogance, which is available now, college professor, he used to be a program director at the radio station, called me up and he was like, hey, I'm teaching a music business class at Phoenix College. I would like you to come in and speak to some of the, the younger guys who really want to try to make a stab at this music thing, musically. And I was like, of course, man. Like that's the least I can do. I went there, man, and it was a class of like 35 kids, and everybody had their own journey on why they was there. You know, one person wanted to be a producer, the other person wanted to be an executive, the other person wanted to be an artist, the other person wanted to be an A&R, the other person was there for business law. So everybody had a very diverse range of what they wanted to do, but at the end of the day, their key common denominator was to make an impact in this industry. I just told them, man, the first step was at least you're here to gain knowledge. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the biggest necessary things for people to do is gain the knowledge of the profession that you're in. Secondly, I wanted I wanted to give them a sense of work ethic. I asked them all who were some of their biggest, motivations and, some of their, artists that they look up to, you know what I mean? And, artists that they really stand on. And, a lot of them said Kendrick. A lot of them said Nipsey, myself, you know what I mean? Mano, a couple other people. So what I did was, because I feel we live in a society right now where everybody sees the end result of this industry. They see they see us on this IG. They see the videos on World Star, but everybody don't know the sacrifice and the strive and the hunger that needed to get to that particular point. You know what I mean? I was like, listen, man, like, this is a business. I had a million no's before I got to 5 yeses. You know what I mean? And it's really gonna hurt your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some down days. You know what I mean? But you really just gotta have a lot of self-belief and continue to build that journey. Yeah. And every kid said that they had a inspiration to where they went to their mom and told them they wanted to rap, and their mom was like, nah, you need to
do something else.
Yeah, we're not doing that. All right, you got to go to the mall and work at Foot Locker for a minute and go to college and blah, blah, blah. But they all had a different approach of, okay, I'm going to go to college, but I'm going to learn on the profession I want to do in this music business theory situation. And I thought that was very commendable of them to do so. You know what I'm saying? Basically just like telling them, man, like, yo, the world is looking for them. They are the new movement. You know what I mean? I told him, right, it's so funny. I sat back. I said, listen, after I drop my next 2 albums, you know what I'm saying? I'm in straight executive mode. I'm looking for the next wave. Hey. One of you niggas may be it. You know what I'm saying? Show me better than you can tell me. You know what I mean? And everybody was on it. They working hard. They, they're taking different approaches than what I would. I wish I would have did that early on. Did I go to college and did I get a degree? For sure. But I wish that at that particular time I would have did the music theory classes and things like that.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't have went through some of the mistakes that I did early on. But, experience is the best teacher for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, but anyway, shout out to, Phoenix College for bringing me through. Everybody.
Yes, quick shout out to everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate y'all. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, everybody who was there and yeah. You good? You back?
I'm good.
All right. Yeah. So it was, shout out to everybody making that necessary step to know that it's work in this industry to get to where we got to go.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists need to, before they actually start their journey, they need to kind of like peek through and see how it's working for other people so they can kind of gain some knowledge and soak up some gems on how they can approach their situation, whether it be, developing a song, reaching out to artists,
sure.
Doing the treatment for a video, etc.
For sure.
So now I want to really hone in more on what you've done musically and some of your creative process as far as what influences you and how you kind of come up with the music that you've put out so far.
It's funny because I was just explaining this to somebody the other day. I'm an emotional artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and we all are.
You know what I mean? And I'm big on feeling. I'm big on emotion. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be numerous times where I'll be riding in the car and I'll just get a inkling in my mind of a song, and I'll just kind of label it and write it down in my phone reach out to a couple producers, send me some beats, and whenever I hear them, I'll get a feeling for them. You know what I mean? I'm very more, I don't want to say emotional based, but I'm very more in tune to what's going on in the world and with myself to create the type of music that I do. More of a realist. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I write about, I write about things that I've always went through, my passions and emotions. If I go through a heartbreak, you know what I mean? I may speak about that. I may not put the woman's name or my or my name in it, but I'm writing about things that I truly felt. If there's, I had a good month, you know what I mean? Hustling, touring, doing what we do, and we brought in 100K. I'm talking about that talk, like, yeah, me and my niggas get to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm a very realist about the things that I rap about. I'm really not too privy on one to speak about things that I haven't been through or that I haven't done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
People who know me know that, like I said, I've been signed to the game. I was signed to the game for a long time. So, when it comes to like that gangster rap era, like, nah, really, let me be clear. Like, I was really in them trenches. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep in mind, Game was a marked man for a long time. He was one of the biggest artists at one point, but that G Unit 50 Cent beef was real.
Yeah.
For a year, I had to run around with a bulletproof vest on because I had to sit next to him every day. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about, I was really, you know what I'm saying, in LA, in these hoods, Cedar Block, Piru, Watts, Compton, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the 60s with Nipsey. It's real life. Yeah. I'm really there. You know what I mean? So I'm a person who really just delivers what I've truly been through. You know what I mean? And like I said, I just want people to really take a walk in my shoes to see my growth. Like, I think right now I'm at a point in my life, in my career, where I'm a young African-American male, an executive who's making some very solid decisions. I think the music, I think the viral and the position that we're coming is starting to show for itself. And I'm just hoping that everybody resonates who I am as a person. My goal at the end of the day is to hopefully leave a legacy as big as someone like a Nipsey, someone like a Kendrick, someone like a Jay and someone like a Nas, somebody who really impacted not just from a street level, but as a real life level. You know what I mean? Like, he went back in and invested in his community and his people. He jumped on, big platforms like SheBuzzin, also to the local level guy who was trying to, get to a SheBuzzin level. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I'm just trying to put in the groundwork and put in the work to be respected as hopefully one day one of the top artists out there. So that's it.
Keeping at it.
Man.
Talk to me about what we can expect with Highly Favored, your upcoming.
No. I say that because of this, man. I've been working on that project for about a year. And the thing about it is I finally got the pulse of it. You know what I mean? Like, I finally got the heartbeat. I got the body of work. I got the meat and potatoes all together.
Okay.
And Highly Favored, man, to me is my best body of work thus far.
I'm gonna hold you to that one.
Please do. And listen, I'm gonna send it to you early so you can put your ear to and give me a review.
Yeah, please.
It's my best body of work thus far because it's the most honest. And I really tapped into me. It wasn't about Game. It wasn't about anything else. It was about me. And I speak on, again, everything's from Black Lives Matter to me and Game's relationship to, being a have not to a have got. You know what I'm saying? To empowering not just my city and community, but to my team around and how they empower me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Highly Favored basically is, I look at it like this. To make it to the NBA, you get a 1 in a million shot, right? To make it to the NFL, you get a 1 in a million shot.
Right.
I'm a 1 in a million type nigga because, again, I got my deal with Game. That was the first one. But I'm an over extraordinary type of nigga because I got a second time to do it. And that's why it's called Highly Favored. You barely make it to do one. To get a second time to do it, you got to really make it do what it do. And I always believe that God had his hand on me with that. So this time around, I'm gonna do it the way it need to be done, unapologetically. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna make sure that we tap into how we got to tap in. You know what I mean? But Highly Favored is dope, man. First single off of it's coming soon, featuring Rick Ross. It's called Can't Knock the Hustle. You know what I mean? I got Ross on the project. Got an R&B dude named Vito. Vito's out of Atlanta.
I know Vito.
Oh yeah, yo, you come on. No, Vito is that guy.
Vito don't play.
Vito is that guy. You know, Vito wrote the Usher and LMA record. That's #1 right now on. So listen, I'm tapped in with some heavies. You know what I mean? I got Trade of Truth on the project. Shout out to Mitchie Slick. Got Mitchie Slick on the project. And it's only right that, you know, the last record, I go back and get the Big Homie Game on it too. You know, I got T.I. on there too. Shout out to Tip. Okay. But you know, so I got some shit. You know what I mean? And I just hope that everybody appreciates it as much as I do. I hope they help me get into this social media realm and help me be more visible and more viable to reach the masses. And I just hope they, you know, appreciate it like me.
We will, because I'm hearing heavy names. And you said meat and potatoes, so I'm like, this is a real meal that we've been getting ready to get into. I'm excited, just off rip. So I'm gonna just ask you this because I know you haven't necessarily set a release date for it.
Right.
So do you have a favorite so far without naming any features, just as far as titles? If you had to like favoritize one, and I know that's hard because everybody it's like a miniature baby, right? If you had to play favorites, what would it be for that one?
Right now, you know, my favorite record on there, because it's the most honest, is the very first record on the album. It's called Highly Favored.
Okay.
And I think the reason why I like it so much is because it's the most honest. Everybody, you know, even people on here right now, shout out Trey Beats. I see you, killer. Everybody always wants to know about me and Game's relationship. Like every interview that I do. So what's up with you and Big Homie? You know, what's the bye. Listen, that's my brother. He gave me a platform and I love him dearly. But little monkey turns gorilla. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, man, you know, I appreciate all the blessings and games in outlook that you gave me, but I've always wanted to be Kobe Bryant. I always wanted to shoot my shot. You were my Phil Jackson. You was my Shaq. But it come a time where Kobe had to step away from Shaq and hold his own team.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I love my brother. I will never, you know, he gave me the opportunity. You know what I mean? He gave me the platform.
Right.
About to run that bitch all the way to the moon. On God.
Let's go.
Oh God. I'm gonna run, you know what I mean? And I speak on a lot of personal things in that, and I hope that the world perceives that as what it is. Like, I love my brother. I will always be my brother's keeper. But at the end of the day, it's my time now. And I take full responsibility and ownership of that.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Jerry BWS. Stepping into the chat room, people. I appreciate you.
Dude, I appreciate y'all too. This is the first time kind of thing, but we've been rocking.
I'm Mr. No Camera, my guy. So I rock with you. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate it.
Real rap.
Trust me when I say I be on, but I don't be on.
I don't be on, right. I said it all the time. Listen, nigga, I'm lit, but I'm low key.
Right, I'm like
like, well, I get it.
50 feet at least. But yes, I'm so glad that you were able to do this with me. I'm highly excited for the project.
Thank you.
Highly Favored. Sound like it's about to be everything.
Man.
How many tracks are on that project so far? 10? 10
ones. I've been battling it because we live again. I'm trying to get to the new age thing.
Yeah.
I know that 50 records is really not the thing no more. A lot of people's attention spans are so short. They want to run through it real quick and run back in. You know what I mean? So I think I wanted to keep it to 10 solid records. Very, very intimate. Very, very strong. Like I said, I got some high key features on there as well. And like I said, man, I just hope the world love it as much as I do.
Richie, I appreciate you.
Love.
I'm hella excited for this project. Tell the people what you have coming next. I know COVID is crazy. We don't really, we got to keep switching up the game plan. But as far as like what you can do on this online space, do you have merch? You know, where can we stream? You know, give us the juice.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, make sure everybody tell your friends and family. Make sure you follow me at Who Is Richie on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the social sites. Right now, we do have a signature clothing line that we're going to end up releasing next month in July. It's called the Evans Collection. You know what I'm saying? Which actually we're going to do a collaboration with SheBuzzin to make sure we get it doing what we do.
Like that.
Man, like that. We got Overdose on Arrogance out right now. Videos on World Star. We got The Purge featuring Mano. Shout out to big homie Mano out there in NY. That record's on Spotify, Apple Music, everything right now. Grab that as well. And like I said, man, we're potentially trying to schedule Highly Favored for August 7th. It's a tentative date. Like I said, COVID has really been, killing shit for me. You know what I mean? But we're still going to drop a couple videos within the meantime. We're going to start picking up this online live thing. We're going to start really stepping out a little bit more than what we normally do to really start engaging and make sure that the army and people's behind us. And we're going to take it to the house. We're working.
Yes. I'm excited. I
appreciate you. Let me say one last thing.
Of course.
Again, man, make sure you guys, follow your boy, Richie. Tap in with me. I talk back. Anybody out there who does this social media thing, you know what I'm saying? Me and my team are looking for some great people to help us navigate this the right way. You know what I mean? We are in tune with the people. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole corporate shit, I get it, but we front lines out here. You know what I mean? Like we really rather deal with the people than deal with anything else.
Right.
Help us push this movement, push this brand. The Evans administration, TEA, that's the label. You know what I'm saying? Not just myself. You know what I mean? We got 2 other artists we about to put in the mix as well. We're looking for a third, so send some music, producers, holla at us right now. We're looking for everything moving. We stand on what we do, baby. We about to win. So holla.
From the ground up, okay?
Man,
everybody, all the creatives, all the singers, all the rappers, producers, listen, reach out.
Holla at us. We working. Oh, hold on. Before y'all go, hey, can I get one more round, please? Hey, as I told you, I'm lit.
Listen,
but I'm
man, you gotta celebrate. Life is good.
Come on, man.
Life is good. Well, again, Richie, I just want to thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you because, listen, I feel like this is pushing us all out of our comfort zone. We're all trying new things. We're all just jumping in how we could fit in, and this was a good one. This was a good one. Hopefully, we can touch base again after.
ASAP. Actually, you know what? Me and my team, because you were one of the first to really get me on this live thing like this. I'm gonna talk to my team this week, and we, once we do our private listening session, we want to see if we can get you out to the city. We can maybe cover it out here too. You guys can do a real one-on-one live interview in the studio with us. We're gonna have it catered. We're gonna do all the grand shit.
Yes.
We want y'all to come out here because you one of the ones who took the first step on some real life shit to rock with us.
I appreciate that. I'm for the people. I'm for the artists. Okay. I'm here for the music. Okay.
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay. If the music is good, I must follow. That's how I always.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you the first single as soon as we get off. Let you put your ear to, and you can hit me, afterwards. And you know what I mean. So we working.
Yes. Again, I want to thank everybody who was here. I want to thank everybody that was here at the beginning of the conversation. I hope that this was useful. You got to know Richie himself. You got to understand more of his story, more of his gems in regards to the music business, what you got to do on just on a physical level, on a mental level, on a spiritual level. I hope this was helpful.
Right.
And any other artist that is interested, feel free.
You see how they do though? They want that shine. I'm like, hold on. Executives got to stay behind though. You know what I mean?
It's all love. It's all love.
Come on.
But yes, I just want to thank you again. And yeah, let the people tap into the music. Let them hear what's going on. All right?
Like I said, make sure y'all get it right now. We got Overdose on Arrogance out right now, and The Purge featuring Mano out right now. Tap into me. We working. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Signing off.
On it.